let's get started now with the first myth. And the first myth is holding on to unforgiveness in your heart will make you angry and bitter. Now, let's look at how silly that is. Okay, it sounds great, doesn't it? But it's not great. It's very misleading, and it's absolutely not true, and here's why. When someone betrays you, when you're a child or a teenager and you find out that someone has been lying about you, or you're older and your boyfriend or girlfriend or your husband or wife has been cheating on you, or you have been molested or abused or raped, or someone takes advantage of you financially, or whatever it is, you are angry as soon as you find out, as soon as you've been hurt, as soon as you are in pain. Most of the time we respond with anger and bitterness at what has happened and who hurt us. I'm going to teach you how to get over that anger and bitterness before forgiveness and without forgiveness. But let's just look at this as a myth or a lie that holding on to unforgiveness will make you angry and bitter, and it will never make you angry and bitter. Why? The truth is that holding on to unforgiveness in your heart can never make you angry and bitter because you are already bitter from the moment you get hurt and do not rely on God's grace, His sovereignty, His being in control, His command to you to love your enemy. We're going to talk about all these things later that enable you to get rid of anger and bitterness before forgiveness. It has nothing to do with forgiveness. And trust me, when you see what forgiveness means, it is not for you. Forgiveness is for those who, it's for you when you want it, when you beg God for forgiveness. But as someone who's granting forgiveness, forgiveness isn't for you. All right, we're going to look at that later too. Remember, most of the things that we believe or that we've been taught are actually opposite of what the Bible says. And look why this is true in this case, that unforgiveness will lead you to anger and bitterness. No. You are already there. Unforgiveness does not lead you to anger and bitterness. You start out being angry and bitter. And because you are bitter, it's the bitterness that makes you unwilling to forgive. It's never the other way around. Let me know if you think it is, but it's not the other way around. When you are bitter, then you are unable to forgive. Bitterness and anger make you unwilling to forgive until you bring yourself to the point, or God brings you to the point, where you can trust Him and be meek. We're going to talk about the definition of meekness, which most of you may not know. So remember, this first video is simply about overcoming anger and bitterness by recognizing that it's not unforgiveness that makes you bitter, it's always bitterness that makes you unwilling to forgive. Hebrews 12:15 says, "See to it that none of you fail to respond to the grace of God." It's not how we respond to our enemy. It's how we respond to God for allowing the pain in our life, for allowing an enemy to hurt us. He doesn't cause pain. He doesn't cause our enemies to sin against us and to hurt us. He doesn't cause someone to molest you or to rape you or to kill your child or to hurt you. He doesn't cause evil. But if God is God, if He exists, then He's sovereign and He may let things happen for a greater purpose and that He will be our avenger. We are to trust Him for vengeance. And we're going to get into all that later. But I just want to assure you that it's how you respond to God, not how you respond to your enemy or to someone that hurts you, that determines whether you can get rid of anger and bitterness. Because the next part of that verse says, "See to it that you do not fail to respond to the grace of God, that no root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and many be defiled." Why are you troubled? Why do you get a root of bitterness springing up? Not how you respond to the person that hurt you, but how you respond to the grace of God. When you're angry and bitter, you respond to God through love and meekness, and you can get rid of anger and bitterness long before forgiveness. Again, please be sure to subscribe and like this video and share it with your friends. And tell me if you think there's something that I need to reconsider. Thank you very much. Let's go on now to video number 2.